They didn't even bother to answer when I walked down the aisle. That silence spoke louder than the vows echoing through the small chapel. I wore a simple dress, nothing like the dazzling gown my sister flaunted at her lavish society wedding. I still remember the string quartet, the endless champagne, the speech my father gave about raising daughters who marry well. They spent nearly 6 figures to make her wedding go viral. For mine, not even a text. That morning, I called, half hoping, half expecting what I already knew. My mother's voice came sharp and cold through the phone. Enjoy marrying your plumber. Sweetheart, we won't share in your embarrassment. Then click. I stood there, phone still in hand, bouquet trembling. Not from heartbreak. Not anymore. Something colder settled in. Something that wouldn't die easily. They'd always loved appearances more than people. When my sister got engaged to a corporate heir, my parents nearly worshipped him. The future of our family, they called him. My mother once told me, "You could learn from your sister." I smiled then, pretending it didn't hurt. I let them parade her fiancé around at every dinner, while my own boyfriend, Evan, wasn't even invited. Evan didn't come from money. His hands were rough, his clothes often stained from work. But he had a quiet confidence that didn't need approval. I met him the day my car broke down outside my apartment. He fixed it without asking for a dime. When I offered pay, he grinned and said, "You look like someone who deserves a break." That's when I knew he was different. But my parents couldn't see that. They only noticed his uniform, his callous fingers, the lack of pedigree. So when he proposed, I didn't rush to tell them. I wanted to believe love alone would be enough. The week of the wedding, my sister called. Her voice dripped with false sweetness. "You're really marrying him?" "Yes." "Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Mom's been crying all week about the humiliation." That was the moment I stopped explaining, stopped defending myself. I let them live in their fantasy, where I was the family's disappointment. But quietly, I was building something else. Evan's company, Blue Line Repairs, had been small. My parents mocked it, the work truck in the driveway, the name printed on the side. What they didn't know was that I'd been helping him grow it behind the scenes. I invested every spare dollar, rebuilt his website, secured commercial contracts, filed the paperwork that would soon make a majority owner of one of the fastest-growing infrastructure companies in the state. He wasn't just a plumber anymore. He was the man corporations called when million-dollar systems broke down. But I didn't tell my parents that. Not yet. When the wedding day arrived, I didn't cry over their absence. I smiled, because absence leaves room for clarity, for control, for revenge that doesn't need to shout. After the ceremony, I sent him a single photo. Evan and me standing in front of his newest project, a corporate high-rise, his company's logo towering behind us, his arm around me, wedding ring gleaming. No caption, just the image. 10 minutes later, my mother called, then my father, then my sister. I didn't answer right away. Let them sit with it. Let curiosity twist into dread. When I finally picked up, my father's voice cracked. "Sweetheart, we had—" "No," I said, calm as glass. "You didn't care." My mother's voice cut in, desperate. "We made a mistake. We thought he wasn't good enough." "Funny," I said softly. "He just signed a maintenance contract with your company's headquarters. I guess you'll be seeing him more often." The silence that followed was heavy enough to feel. I could almost hear their pride breaking apart. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. Revenge doesn't always demand cruelty. Sometimes it's the quiet satisfaction of truth revealing itself. Since then, they've tried to make amends. Flowers on our porch. Invitations I never answer. My sister even came by once, smiling too brightly, until she realized Evan's company had bought the property management firm her husband relied on. Poetic, isn't it? Now, when they look at me, they finally see what they threw away, not because of money, but because they never understood worth. That day, I learned something important. Some people only recognize love when it's gone. Others only respect power when it's too late to beg for mercy. So, when people ask why I don't visit my parents anymore, I just smile and say, they were busy the day I got married. And I returned the favor. That was the last call I ever answered.